Looks like the Hulk's a little bit angry, but you can always subscribe and see if it makes him feel better. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a Hulk body paint. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. So to start off, I'm leaving a giant gaping hole for where I'm going to put my mouth, and also leaving a spot open for my eyeballs when I draw them in eventually. But I went in and I started filling everything in with green for obvious reasons. If you guys are watching a Hulk body paint, you should know why we're going with green. And about here is when I realized that I had my green screen up and I'm painting myself green. Now if you guys have ever used a chroma key, you know why this is an issue. Basically, when I do that, I'm taking the green screen out and anything that's green along with it. But then I went ahead and started doing the rest of my body green. Well, chest-ish area. I went back and forth between sponges and brushes, kind of like brushes a little bit more, but I wasn't hating how this came out with the sponge. And then I went ahead and drew in his teeth. This is gonna look pretty cartoony because it is a cartoony kind of look. So if you guys are looking for more for realism, that was not the tutorial for this. But I went ahead and filled in any spot that was going to be kind of like his inside of his mouth, his throat kind of area, with black. And this also helped to hide my nose to kind of give more of an illusion. That's why I put his mouth where I did, so I can kind of make it look like it's not my mouth, or it is my mouth, but not my nose, because I'm going to draw that in later. And then I went in and I started separating the teeth a little bit, because in the picture that I was looking at, his bottom row did have separation of teeth, and then the top one is just like one giant long tooth. But I'll have the pictures and everything linked in my blog that will be down below. Then I went in and I started drawing some details around the mouth, like, you know, his lip kinda, and also his angry expression line. Then I went in with some lighter green body paint just to give some highlights, because at this point, once I put the black down, we're not going back. It's going to be really annoying to try to do that without messing up any of the darker colors that I'm putting on, so just go with me there. And then I went and started drawing in some more of his expression lines, but also his kind of jaw. Guys tend to have more chiseled cheekbones than women do, so kind of started drawing that in. And I also started drawing in his nose, which was the bane of my existence the last time I tried to do this. So I'll have a bloopers video or something up for you guys at some point, and you'll see what I mean. But I started drawing in his eyebrows, some more shaded areas of the face, and it kind of gave me more of an idea of what the nose was actually going to look like once I kind of started doing this, because it made it look more complete, if that makes any sense. And this is my victory over his mouth/nose from the last time I did this. I also started drawing in some angry forehead lines, because, you know, Hulk angry. That's kind of his shtick. Then I went in and I started doing some highlights. I looked at a couple pictures for the body, but I wasn't really happy with any of them, so I kind of just winged it at the end. But you basically want to draw in any kind of muscle lines that are naturally or unnaturally going to be there. This is going to stay a little more cartoony, kind of like how I did the She-Hulk, which I'll also have linked up here somewhere for you guys. So that's why I did some of the highlighting first, just to kind of get that out of the way, because I am going to be putting a lot of black on top of it. And I went over with a little bit of a darker green. I was kind of sloppy with this, if we're going to be honest. Just to give some shadow to my highlight, because that is how that kind of works. Anytime you shade something, you're going to want to put a highlight and vice versa, just so it looks a little more three-dimensional and it looks a little bit cooler. That's not actually the reason, but the first one was. And then I went in with a little bit of white body paint on my eyelids, and I was actually pretty happy with how these eyes turned out. If I do say so myself. I think I'm getting better at this. But then I went and filled the actual eyelid part with white. One thing you might want to keep in mind is, since you're not having your eye completely closed if you're doing, drawing your own eyes on your eyelids, when you go to do like pictures and weird dances and stuff for social media, don't judge, you're gonna want to keep that in mind, that your eye is not completely closed, because if you close it all the way, then you're gonna look a little cockeyed. If you saw my Ahsoka video, you kind of know where that was going. So just kind of keep that in mind. I also kind of did his eyes off center because it was late and I didn't want to try to figure out how to get them to look even, dead on. So when I did my Superman video, I did them kind of off centered and it looked pretty okay. So I kind of went with that. So I went ahead and did just a base of green. Then I did I can never remember if it's iris or pupil, but I did the dark spot in the middle of your eye just to give me kind of an idea. Then I went in with some darker green, some lighter green to give him a little bit of dimension on the eye. And then I did little white dots, because that's what eyes look like, right? I'm kidding, but I'm kind of not. And then I outlined the actual eye with a little bit of black body paint. This you want to take your time with because there's no going back after this. And then you can make any other adjustments that you need to before outlining the actual eye part. Now his eyes are a little more rounded than what I was making them, so yeah. And this is what it looks like before you put the wig on. I am so freaking proud of this. So if you guys did like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to see what comes out of my channel next, and let me know what body paint you want to see next. I got this from my search results, so if you guys want to see something, just let me know. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!